Hey, what's up everybody? Viking here today, and I have a budget version of Building Abyss for you guys. Burning, Burning Abyss. Um, you might be wondering, how do you make Burning Abyss budget? Well, you don't run Dante, you don't run Virgil, and you don't run the tuner, the Rubik. Now you might be wondering, how does Burning Abyss work without Dante? It actually works fairly well without Dante. If you guys remember, back to the original build of this, where they only had 9 Burning Abyss monsters in the main deck, there are 3 tour guides, and then the monarchs and the BLS and other such things. The deck actually worked really well back then. Now, they weren't as reliant as Dante, even though they still made him quite often. They didn't rely on him nearly as much as people try to rely on him now, because now there's more names, more things to summon, blah 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 blah. Well, I went back to the old idea of how the deck ran, added some of the new cards and other such personal tech choices, can't talk today, and made it as best as I possibly could. That way, a budget player who wanted to play the deck but can't afford it can still play the deck and enjoy it without using Dante and using all those expensive cards. Um, so don't criticize me for not running certain cards like the Dante, obviously, and other such things. But this is, again, for budget players, so don't give me all, criticism or whatever. But I'm going to get started with the deck profile, and yeah. So to start off, I'm running 3 Seer. He's your, graveyard summon. 3 Scarm, your Searcher. 3 Graff, your deck summon. And then I'm running 2 Farfa. Really useful for getting rid of cards to attack for damage, and then getting rid of XYZ so they lose their materials. Farfa's really nice for that reason. And then I'm running 2 libic. He's like a tour guide from hand when he's sent to grave, and he negates their effects and everything, so really helps out for getting more damage on the field if you have a non-Burning Abyss monster, because it negates their effects. And then I'm running 2 alich. This is a card that's just kind of a personal tech of mine. You don't have to run alich. A lot of people run Calcab instead. I kind of like alich. I've been playing around with him. So for now, this is the one I'm running. But again, it's interchangeable, or you can even run more traps or whatever if you wanted to. But 2 alich. He's your negator. He negates stuff with monster effects. Then I'm running 3 tour guide. This is really standard for Burning Abyss. Even in the budget build, tour guide is standard. It's only like a $5 card for a common or a super, so it's not expensive at all to get these. So I don't see, too big of a problem there. And then I have 2 Caius the Shadow Monarch and 2 Raiza the Storm Monarch. Now, like I said before, I went back to older versions of the deck and took ideas from those, and this is one of those ideas. Caius and Raiza are really good control cards, especially for right now. You guys might not think this, but both of these cards actually hurt the meta quite a lot. If you're against Necros or Q-tips and you just top deck your stuff or remove it from play, they are super slowed down and can no longer do things. Plus, these are kind of like one card outs to the Djinn locks. Like, if they just Djinn lock in first turn, don't even attack your first monster, or like they try to attack your first monster and it's like a mech equipped angineer, just protect it. And then go next turn, tribute it, summon a Raiza or a Caius, get rid of their Djinn lock card, and now you're out of Djinn lock and you're perfectly fine. Obviously, Trish, I think, can stop this card when they discard her, but that's, it makes them waste their Trish, essentially. So, I think the Monarchs are really good right now. And then, 2 Effect Failure. Obviously, with Defizz and Macro going around, this isn't as relevant, but it's still really relevant because you can stop their Trish from hurting you, you can stop your Senjus from normal summoning again, you can stop Ritual Beast from using Cannonhawk's effect, things like that. So I think it's still a pretty good card, as long as they don't have first turn Defizz Macro against you. So, yeah. That's it for monsters, though. For spells, I have 3 MST, pretty standard. 2 Mash into second. This is a really good card against the meta. You make Dark Law, and Dark Law just kind of shuts everything down because he removes all their stuff from play. And the fact that you can make him in this deck, I think, is a huge plus. So I really like the mash changes. And that, and they're another card to help you make it so you don't have to rely on Dante. So I really like them. Then I run 2 Dark Holes. Again, budget version. Raigeki isn't a card in this deck. Even though I have a raigeki, I wanted to build this deck as cheap as possible, but still keep the consistency and then, you know, the basic way that the deck works without using Dante. So 2 Dark Holes. And then 1 Snatch Steal. You just steal your opponent's monsters, attack for game, or steal a Dijin lock, their Colossus that they Dijin locked you with, and then laugh because now they're the Dijin locked. It's pretty funny. 1 Book of Moon, and 1 Astral Force. The Astral Force is actually pretty good. I mean, you can make Volcasaurus, you can make Tiras, you can make Crimson Vampire Knight Bram, things like that. Obviously, it's best when you use it on Dante, but it's still a pretty good card because it still gets you plays. So, I really like it. Then moving on, I have 3 Phoenix Wing Blast. This is like your control card. It just, oh, let's top deck that so that you'd have to draw it next turn, and that way it doesn't hurt me this turn. So Phoenix Wing Blast is really good. Then I'm running 1 Raigeki Break. I kind of want to run 2 of this, but I don't know what to take out for it. I might take out 1 alich or something. I'm not entirely sure, but Raigeki Break just gets rid of problem stuff. And then 2 vanitys Emptiness. This card used to be super expensive, but now you can get supers for like $5 a piece. So, not expensive at all, and it hurts like everything, unless you're against your Senjus. And then it's completely useless. But other than that, hurts Necros, hurts Satellite Knights, all those kind of things. But yeah, so that's the main deck. 40 cards. Again, no Fire Lakes, no Rubiks, things like that. It is a budget version, even though Fire Lake doesn't cost that much. Fire Lake is not a good card unless you're running Dante spam. Dante spam is where Fire Lake comes in handy, because then you can get rid of your Dantes, use Dante's effect to add more cards to your hand from your grave, and then make Dante next turn, and blah blah blah, do the whole recycling thing. And that's why Fire Lake's good, if you have Dantes. If you don't have Dantes, it's not as good, because again, this isn't relying on Dante. You don't just massively spam the field like a lot of the newer versions of the deck do. You just kind of keep it as a controlled pace, and you beat your opponent down. This is more control based than it is OTK or whatever you want to call it, like the other versions of the deck are. But moving on to extra deck, I'm running 2 Angineer. She protects all your stuff, and really good for that reason. 2 alucard. This is only like $7 right now, so don't freak out because it's expensive. It's actually pretty cheap right now. Like this deck, I could probably tell you could just go and pick up for like $40 worth of stuff, and you'll be perfectly fine. Like super cheap, even with the alucards and with the tour guides. So don't worry about that. But pretty good, especially with Book of Moon. You flip their monster face down, pop it with alucard, no longer have a monster. Then 2 Nightmare Shark, attack directly for 2k, and then if you get 2 of them, attack directly for 4k. Pretty strong, I think. 1 Wind Up Zenmaines. Gets rid of problem cards. It makes so they don't want to attack into it. But also you can just crash it into their monsters, detach, and then end phase destroy the monster. So, pretty good there. 1 Grenosaurus, because pretty good for burning your opponent for damage. But then also you can rank up into Volcasaurus. 1 Giga Brilliant. This is actually a really good card because it makes your Dark Law go up to 2700 attack, which means Dark Law can now attack over most cards out there right now. So Giga Brilliant is actually really useful for those situations. Then 1 Tempo. This card against the mirror match and then also against Satellite Knights really is helpful because it gets rid of their extra materials, makes it so they can't do as much. And then I have 1 Crimson Vampire Knight Bram. He's like a monster reborn from your opponent's grave, except it goes to your side of the field, and then if he dies, he comes back. So pretty good. And then 1 Volcasaurus, pretty good. Tiras, I think she's really good. 2600 beater that destroys stuff when she attacks. I think that's pretty strong. And then of course the 2 Dark Laws to go with those 2 Mass Change of Seconds. Really good card, probably like the MVP card of this deck specifically. I'm actually thinking of running 3 Mass Change of Second and 3 Dark Law just because I really like the card and it's really good. So, yeah. But that is the deck, you guys. And again, please don't just start criticizing me because no Dantes, no Fire Lakes, blah, 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 blah. It's a budget version for players who enjoy the deck but can't afford it. So that is the reason I built it this way. And it actually works pretty well, so don't think it doesn't work. It actually works pretty well. I can beat Necros, I can beat Q-Tips on DevPro. In fact, I've only lost twice to Necros out of like the 10-15 times that I've dueled them. And I haven't lost against Cleforce yet. The deck requires more thinking than the newer versions of the deck do, but it still works perfectly fine. So don't think it doesn't. You just have to think about it. But, yeah, so that's the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave any comments, questions, or whatever in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe, whatever else, and make sure you check out the team's channel, which we will be posting more videos here soon, I hope. Probably you'll send you deck profile up there for you guys. And maybe like a Cleafort deck profile for you guys. But we will get them up there sooner or later. So make sure you guys check those out when we get those on that other channel. Again, Tools Finest YGO. That's our other channel for the actual team. So make sure you go check that out. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was my budget version of Burning Abyss. This was my take on making the deck viable for budget players. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope this helps out a little bit if you wanted to build the deck. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.